think why you're seeing a growth in hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey does not pay quite as much.
Not
I think
near as much. It's not even close.
They do play much. I don't know who I'm guessing it's McDavid.
Yeah, I've seen that. It is. Oh, I don't see it.
Highest paid NHL player. Why did I do NFL?
It is Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, it's McKinnon off of Avs.
He's making so the cap hit is $12.6 million, but compensation is $16.5. So I'm guessing it's $16.5.
Your highest.
Yes,
that's
the highest.
That's the top of the line.
That's like half.
That is still insane money, people. Insane money.
Then Pasternak is second, and Hamilton third.
That is a lot of money. And one thing you hear, at least that I know, you don't hear these guys complaining, first off, because hockey players are just kind of men.
Yeah, that's very true.
But they also, they're probably, not to be mean, but they're probably better at investing. They probably are better at holding their money. You don't see them. My sister saw Matty Beniers, Kraken's probably their best player, out. I think they were all going to a concert, and they ended up just Bailey. My sister, she had no idea who he was. Yeah. Zero. Julio Rodriguez could walk in front of her, and she'd go, "I have no idea who he is."
Yeah.
That she doesn't know sports like that. She does know some of them, like DK Metcalf. She knows who that is. But the hockey players just seem more like normal people.
Yeah.
Like they're just like rich, normal people.
Yeah.
They don't, you don't see them walking in their big chains and crazy cars and all these. Yeah. And that's fine. I'm not saying that people
I think
should.
The culture if you have the money, of hockey is just different 100%. Than other sports.
But I think that's why a lot of people are going towards hockey, because they realize that it maybe isn't as political. Maybe it isn't spending so much money. I don't know this for sure. So much expensive.
But you could maybe say it's more like a blue collar sport.
I would agree.
I don't know hockey that well.
No, so. I would probably agree with you on that. I think a lot of people would say that. I think even around here, you can go down to Kent, or you can go to, which is funny because it's Kent, but it's the Seattle Thunderbird. Yeah. You can go up to Everett. They have a team there. They have a team in Tri-Cities. They have a team in Spokane. I think they have a team in Wenatchee. They have a team in Portland. Yeah. They have this. It's the WHL, and I think it's called something else now. But you go to those games, and I'm not sure. It might be. But you go there, and they're
fun.
They're super fun, but it is about as rednecky as you can get. It's a great time, but it is very different. They're the CHL now. But anyway. They, I think they're just seeing a lot of people kind of go to that, and I think that's why we're trying to learn. I'm trying to learn more about it. I know, like we said, we kind of talked about the Stanley Cup's coming up. What did you say? You said it was on the 9th or the 8th or something like that. So it's 5 or 6 days away, coming up. I think the Kraken have made a really good move here.
Yeah.
Their new coach, like I said kind of earlier, Dan.
He's got a last name.
I probably could play it right here and see if it doesn't want to pop up. I was gonna say maybe we can hear.
Yeah,
it's Daniel Bryan Balsamy. He is the new coach of the Kraken. I think it looks good. I know Joey Decor, who I believe is the Kraken's goalkeeper, is excited. I believe they had a stint together where they I don't know if he played under him or what.
Okay,
but he coached. From what I read, Pittsburgh and Buffalo.
Yep.
He hasn't coached in the NHL
since 17
in a minute. It's been a little bit.
But he's been coaching
everywhere else.
Like minor leagues hockey,
but he came in, won Coach of the Year in 2011.
Yep, 2010, 2011.
Which was a couple years after. First year with Pittsburgh, he was in their minor leagues. Their coach got fired for not being able to, I don't know what, because how do you get fired and then that coach takes you to win the whole thing?
Yeah. Wow.
He won the whole thing in 8-9, which I have a feeling it kind of might have been a back-to-back. Not sure. Don't quote me on that because, like I said,
he was the fastest coach to 200 wins too. So,
oh really?
Yeah. And then what I was thinking, like I said, I don't know hockey that well, but it'd be interesting to hear your guys' perspective whether or not he was carried by Crosby.
Yeah,
because that's when
Crosby was
good.
Unreal.
So,
it wasn't even good; it was unreal.
So I don't know if I'm just speaking out of turn or not. So
no, I would agree with you. I think that there is, because then the following years,
he did good with the Penguins. Like when I was looking at the stat, like the record, like they were fine. But with the Sabres, it's trash.
Yeah, the Sabres fell apart. I mean, he was
not good.
He was in the playoffs. What 7 straight years and only missed it twice in his 9 years or 8 years.
It was twice with the Sabres.
Yeah, so. And otherwise he was super good. He won the Coach of the Year, obviously. The like you said, youngest coach. I think he was the youngest coach at 38 in the league when he got hired for Pittsburgh. He was the most. He has got the most wins in Pittsburgh history as a coach, like 200 and something. And then he was actually just coaching our AHL. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
The Coachella Valley Firebirds. What a time. Team. And at the time before he was hired, they were 46, 15, and 6.
Oh, so pretty solid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think it is a good question because you do look at it and you do go, okay, how did he win his first one right away? And then again, did he fall off? I don't think so. He in his first interim season, he was 25 games, 18-3, 4. I guess that's overtime losses again. Learning, won the Stanley Cup next year in 82 games, the whole season. 47, 28, and 7 was second in the Atlantic. Then was second, first in the Atlantic at 36, 12, and 0 on the overtime losses. I think that was the COVID year. 48. No, yeah. Why was there 48 games that year?
I think there was
there a lockout? Maybe.
I think there was a lockout. I'm almost positive.
Only 48 games. Oh yeah, due to lockout. There it is, right there. Yeah. So and he was first that year, and then he was first the next year in the Metropolitan, which I believe is because they had expanded at the time. I think like Vegas and some other teams were coming around. But with Pittsburgh, like you said, won the Stanley Cup, lost conference finals. The other ones were quarterfinals, and then lost second round. And then with they weren't even that bad. They were 7-8 overall. Buffalo, I know, has never been historically like an amazing team.
Yeah.
So just to get them to the playoffs is it would be pretty impressive, and to miss it, probably I think 6 teams make it. So I think he was 2 spots out. Yeah. So definitely not bad.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting too because he was a former player, which I'm always biased towards. I like former players being coaches. I mean, that's just kind of, I guess that's a topic for debate, but I just think it gives them an edge over someone that hasn't played the sport professionally.
You know what's going on a little bit better.
Even if it's a different era, you still have, I don't know, athletes have a different perspective on things. And sometimes it can be helpful to have someone that hasn't been in it. But like I said, I just more biased.
No, that's totally fair. And I think you see more players become coaches. I mean, there's very few that I can think of off the top of my head that were not players to maybe a Division I level.
Yeah.
The biggest one to my head always is Mike Leach. People raved about him never being a player. He played high school and that was like it. And obviously he coached.
Did well.
Yeah, Texas Tech 2 amazing seasons, Washington State 2 amazing seasons. He was rebuilding Mississippi State and kind of got them back on their feet until he tragically passed on. But I think it's a good idea. I think he's still pretty young. He's obviously in our organization right now with Coachella. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think, like you said, he's a former player. He's won the whole dang thing, even though won is probably a good way to put it.
He's still been there, though. I mean, done that. Even if he didn't win, he's still been a playoff coach. That's important.
Yeah, so 100%.
Regardless of that, we're a new organization. We need experience, and he has that.
Yeah, so. I agree. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think the Kraken are moving forward finally. I think they had, obviously, their first year was bad because they're a new team. Second year was good. They made the playoffs. They got to like the conference finals or something like that. They were almost to the Stanley Cup. Everyone was super hyped here, and then this year was kind of a letdown. But it's also like, I mean, they're a new team. What do you expect? We also did not sign players, so it would be interesting to hear what he kind of wants to do. But it seems like people around at least the organization are pretty stoked for it. So lots going on. It was a busy week with sports, and like I said, we'll try to maybe do something on the NHL playoffs. Maybe we'll try to chat about it. Maybe we'll do a little research more this week and talk, because I know they start this week, like we said. Same with the NBA. They always are kind of on top of each other with the finals. Baseball's kind of going crazy. I have a weird feeling this week's going to be kind of slow for baseball coming into next week.
I hope
seems like there's too much going on right now that everyone needs to chill.
Fantastic week in fantasy. So
there you go.
Please have that happen again.
You have Jared Koenig again?
No. Paul Skeens, baby.
Oh, did you actually pick him up? Oh wow, well that's pretty clutch. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what a lot of you guys have to say on like the NFL stuff, because I always find it interesting that we allow things like this to happen, like paying players this much money in every sport. It's not just the NFL. It's not just towards Minnesota. It's not just Jefferson. It's the fact that you're paying anyone all this kind of money. When it's funny to look back and you're Charles Barkley was like, I remember when I made $5 million a year, and that was like insane.
Wild.
Yeah. And obviously, I know times change, inflation, blah, I get it, blah, 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 I get it all. But it is crazy to me to think that, $25 million is not enough for a wide receiver. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But, it's a business, and that's how they run businesses. And they're, obviously, if the Minnesota Vikings were not making money, they would not be spending this kind of money.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing okay for themselves. But anything else, Sam, sports-wise?
No, I think that was pretty much kind of all I had this week.
Thanks for watching the Kind of Athletic podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on all of our social medias, and we will see you next week.